I haven't recorded for a long time. I'm so busy with the things that are going on in my life. But I feel like it's good. It's good to record things. So I have several topics. So it was my birthday, which is fine. My friends invited me to Kent. We had a party, and the same weekend there was a meningitis outbreak happened in Kent. And because I work in the clinic, I came and they asked, like, have you been to Kent? Have you had a party? And I had like, yes. It was interesting. We're all healthy though, and it's just a coincidence. We've been in a different part of Kent, but it's still interesting and funny, like how these things are happening, right? Like, I've been to Kent maybe once or twice in my life, and just like coincided with a meningitis outbreak. I hope I'll be fine. Anyway, so I also watched Hail Mary, the Project Hail Mary, the movie. I've read the book maybe 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. The year it was published, probably 2021, 2022. There was a winter time, I feel like, something like that. And I really enjoyed the book, not as much as I enjoyed The Martian. I was wondering if the movie is going to be awesome. I have mixed feelings about it. So first of all, it was great. Right, it was a great movie. It was interesting. I enjoyed most of it, and I feel like I understood most of the plot, and I enjoyed it just because I've read the book. I'm not sure if I would have understood most of it if I haven't. And I feel like there's more into like friendship side of the movie than to scientific approach like it was in Martian. I was like, one guy was stranded in space. Now there's two guys stranded in space, and they are overcoming like a lot of communication issues and different challenges to save their planets. I feel like I have to record my different take on the movie and the book, and I still highly recommend watching it. I'm not sure if you want to go to the theater, like IMAX or something like that. It's not about visuals, although having said that, visuals are also awesome, and the cinematography and the all the details, like they still use Roscosmos and Russian flag now and then, and it's okay. Because it was in the book, it's a clever nod to like lack of problems in the geopolitics that we are experiencing right now in 2026. The all the details and all the things that they are exactly as I imagined as I was reading the book. So the book was so graphic. It's brilliant material for a movie. Anyway, having said all that, I also started working on portfolio, like a YouTube channel, and I have a plan for this year to have a proper YouTube channel. So it's got to be my other channel, not this one. This is TMI channel, where I'm just enjoying recording things and testing, like, how the setup looks like, or the lighting situation, conditions, and reading from the prompter or not reading from the prompter, or winging it like I'm doing right now. But I started writing down all the scripts, figuring out how do I want to proceed with the main channel, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be that easy as I imagined. So I had the sound line for videos and writing scripts for videos and stuff, and making them interesting is another challenge. So what am I doing right now? It's very probably stupid, but it's funny for me, and it is more like I'm having conversations with ChatGPT, and I'm discussing my script ideas with it, and more likely it's more like I'm discussing with myself, and it reflects back, and I'm asking it to take notes and process them, read it back to me, and if you're like, it might be a good material for video. So okay, let's save it, store it as a hook or this part of the story narration, and it sounds like me, and I have the text, and it's just easier for me to work with this thing. So I still have this walks, 30-minute walks, because I'm in a weight management program. So as I was walking around, I figured out like, hey, what's the project? What's the controversial project? Can I start with like one small project, talking about like say Sandbird, because it's been like several years ago, and there was one fascinating project that I liked, and it was very controversial and very long, and I just wanted to talk about it because it's not that obvious. It's not like brilliant you want to brag about, but it's interesting because it highlights the casual life, like everyday challenge, not the glamorous life of project management and or product management or running like tests and stuff, but how difficult it is sometimes to build something, right? So and I decided to start with it, and I have this animation running on the background because it is like the end result of the first iteration and what we worked on, but just listing things over like 3 months period that we worked at it took me like 5 minutes, right? So and I decided like, hey, okay, I have this video that running on the background right now, and it's a demo of it's on the website. You can look at it. It's not a secret, and I'll just talk about it. So, and I will go through this in this video because it's gonna be a dry run, test run, just a basic recording of the first outcome of the overall description of the project. And I haven't read it yet because I recorded it like several days ago, like dictated it worked on it with ChatGPT or some other agent. The thing with ChatGPT is that why is it cool? Because it is very responsive, so it feels like you're talking to a person, which is amazing, which is what you want to have while you are like discussing things. So that's very great. And I'm experimenting with the microphone placement also. I feel like that's why I'm using headphones. I feel like this one works better. So it's just Rode mic, and it's out of the camera, but it was plugged into the camera and was hanging from there because it's shotgun mic, it's directed. I thought it's gonna be great, but now I am recording it. It's very close to my face. It's like this long, this distant away from my face, and I feel like, and I hope that the sound quality is gonna be far better than it was, and because I have the mic and I just placed it differently. So let's see. Anyway, let's talk about the navigation project. All right. So the hook, or whatever it is, the introduction. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. You might think a navigation redesign sounds simple, but if you've spent years in product, you know changing navigation, especially in a huge product like Sandbird with hundreds of thousands of users, is one of the hardest challenges. And I'm going to show you exactly how we pulled off a full mobile navigation redesign, what we've learned, and how being cautious taught me more than I ever expected. I personally dug into this because I was on the ground talking to users during on-site tests and calls and doing research and learning from them. And you cannot get some insights from numbers alone, just reading stats or exploring that kind of stuff. So hearing their confusion or watching it, observing it firsthand was eye-opening. But I didn't stop there. I backed those insights with data. I analyzed support tickets, identifying like patterns, even leveraging language processing, So what people were asking for, their emails or tickets and stuff like that. So that combination, my direct involvement, when I'm observing how people interact with the digital product, the interface, and their experiences and what they were really interested in, and the solid data, like all the mixed panel metrics and insights from the support team, they all these things, they proved this project was worth it. So it was it affected every user. How do you approach like mobile navigation redesign, and how do you organize all that? So I started with card sorting first in person. I invited a lot of people into the office, maybe 6 or 7 people, and I asked them. I had these cutout cards, and they sorted them in different ways, and I hope there will be some pictures on the background while I'm talking about this, showing you how it looked like. And once I did that in the office, I got some insights, and then I ran these tests remotely with like dozens of participants to just not only see the qualitative data, but to see patterns if they emerge from more iterations. And once patterns emerged, I ran reverse tree tests to validate the new structure from both directions. So it was more like just a prototype without the design. It was just expanding lists, and the task was to locate a certain item in the menu. And when users, new and old, found it clear, we knew we had a solid foundation for the information structure, how navigation items were aligned or misaligned or like clustered together. And then with that architecture locked in, I worked with the design team to prototype in Figma. Figma was all the rage at the time, like 6 years ago, 7 probably. It's like 2019, I guess, early 2019. So when we tested those designs, the structure was already rock and solid, and that gave us a confidence to move forward. So I invited again people to the office. We had all these prototypes, and we had different designs, and designers suggested their own version, obviously, that was a little more complex than what we established during the research phase. But it was worth testing and trying. We also tried different color schemes and just asked people what they prefer one over another, and how it affected their perception of the product. And eventually we ended up with the thing that you can see on the screen. So now there was another thing, very, very important. The founders were very cautious with this project because they were changing so much, might confuse long-time users and cause churn rate. And I was running a retention team, and my goal was to reduce churn rate, right? And to reduce confusion. And this whole thing about this navigation was very important. And also, imagine you're wiring like hundreds of events that are being sent to a mixed panel or any other analytics system that collects events when they fire, in which situation. You have a list of these events, and now to run, and the navigation, it's so widespread, it affects all the experiments, right? So you have to keep that in mind. So it adds an extra layer of complexity over the another extra layer of complexity. So it's too complex to run all these tests, and it affects everything. And you have to factor in all these things just to make sure that what you're doing is right? So we had to roll out really carefully, and that's why it took even longer, because only the testing phase took us about 3 months, and we tested each phase for about a month. So first we started A/B testing on unsubscribed users. No harm if they were confused because they're already unsubscribed and they were visiting website for some reason, and we saw no negative impact impact. And we then started testing on new users, right? So new users, they just signed up, and half of them saw the previous version, and the other half saw a new updated navigation and information architecture. So it was still stable, still well. And finally, we tested on power users, people who are like stayed with us. I don't remember quite good enough. They were like over 3 or 6 months, and actively subscribed. So, but there was no bad or negative effect on them as well. And we confidently rolled out the new navigation to everyone. So the other important aspect of this thing is that I collaborated with our data scientist, and her insights were, I'm incredibly grateful for her insights. And we mapped real user navigation patterns first. We analyzed millions of events from Mixpanel and identified mission-critical user journeys. She used some models that I didn't know of at the time, but as we were developing it, I was studying data science in New York Data Science Academy, so I was really into this, and it was mostly her work, but I felt like I collaborated, and my contribution was into like insights, 10-15% probably, but it was just the beginning. And I mean like meaningful, like on picking the algorithms and stuff. But it was like so interesting for me to how we can, from all the data we have, extract patterns. It's so interesting. So we identified mission critical or user journeys, and with the new navigation, when we compared A/B tests, the new navigation users completed these tasks, mission critical tasks, at least 20% faster. Sometimes it was even more faster, and the churn rate for new users dipped. And it was a huge win for us. So if we consider it, if it was a smoke test of some sorts, right? This is more like very successful smoke test. So it wasn't like we're introducing new product or we're changing a button. It was a very big change that affected a lot of infrastructure and patterns and stuff like that. But it's also helped people solve their tasks, get where they wanted way faster. So when we made this change, we introduced new navigation. We made subscription management clearer. So pause, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and we saw drop in support tickets about these issues. And that was huge on its own because every support ticket costs money, and I can share the exact figure, but the savings were very significant, and that impact beyond just retention and customer experience improvements proved how essential the redesign was. So despite lack of clear direct impact, overall, the clearer structure and expandability and improved customer experience, it all contributed to improvements in churn rate, and people didn't feel like they were cheated because they couldn't find how to unsubscribe. And unsubscribe flow is a different beast altogether. Maybe a good thing to have it to talk about it in a different video, but still. This whole thing about navigation, the clear impact, and this huge project, even though it wasn't like really hard to pull off, but these mundane chores like having everything tracked, having the real data coming into the mix when we want to not like. We want to know if there was a real impact, and we haven't failed in different aspects of it. We haven't made it worse, right? The whole controversy about this project, how widespread it is, and if it was worth it, like doing, because business wants to grow, and this is like one of the things that is not that directly attributes to the growth itself, right? But overall, it unlocked us some other things we could do with navigation and information structure. And this project also coincided with the other project I worked at. It was information architecture for the main page, where I wanted to add the first, it wasn't about like activation per se or onboarding, but once a person have already subscribed and they even picked some fragrance, what they can do to understand how product works, how they meaningfully can pick and choose more products they want to try, and what kind of sections on the landing page, or like we call the main page once you've signed in, what's in there, right? How can we improve the experience there so that people will be using the product in a meaningful way, and that it actually helps them. So I will talk about that project as a second project, and probably, but I just want to use this content to cut in the rough draft about the navigation redesign and get some feedback from you guys. Anyway, so I've put out this video, and it is a screen recording that was recreated from the prototype that eventually went live. And it's still, it has already a new main page, but it has an old version of a queue. And if you hover over it, it will pause. And I made it so that I can tell you things about things. So, different things. So, here you can see the end screen. So the goal of the tests, or one of the tests was to find a very specific collection, and people like coming from some advertising or looking for something specific would have used the same pattern, and this was the fastest and easiest test we could pull off. So when people just landing on the page, it was important for me to reduce all the crap from the top and show them as much information at the top as possible, and just show them their upcoming shipments. And this section alone saved us like about 1,600 subscribers monthly. And I will talk about it in another video. But what we did here was we removed the shipping queue and showed just a simple list and shipping address. And we added a link here to edit queue so that people will be, if they're interested, they will be able to edit it. So what I did here, I introduced the profile, and I moved a shipping queue in this profile so that people will be able to see it instantly. And the other thing is, I'm sorry, I'm just scrolled through this. We grouped these things together, and it was like more my stuff. And when we sorted, we saw it a lot, like people are like, this is my stuff, and there's a catalog. So we also cleaned up the catalog, and we just decided, okay, we'll show the whole thing, the catalog, and we regrouped a lot of items here, and before that, it might sound really stupid and straightforward, like, yeah, duh, I was like, yeah, you should have done it from the first time. But as company grows, right, new sections were added, and at the end of the day, the navigation that existed before was really a child of a lot of complex decisions, and it was a mix of subscription preferences and search and catalog and different types of products just being added one after another or resorted in some way. And there was no proper testing to this because it was not the main objective. And the product started as fragrance subscriptions, and new products were introduced, like new items that people could add to their queue, and this all add confusion and the patterns and other things. So that's why restructuring it was a pain in the ass. And this might look simple and clear and understandable now, but when we worked on it, it was not that obvious. So we added things like makeup, and we grouped like fine fragrance, and it has its own section and collections and stuff like that. This whole thing, the black bar, the navigation bar, it's very compact. It became very dense. It took, with all the navigation items and things, and mind you, in 2018-19 the screens were even smaller than nowadays, so they occupied like a lot of real estate, maybe half of a screen, and people had to scroll through it, like or swipe through it quite quickly. So this whole thing was a child of all these experiments, and it just made more sense. You see, like managed subscription, billing information, shipping information, all these things, they were hidden away in the previous version, and people couldn't find it. When people couldn't find it, it triggered them to contact support. And every time a person contacts a support team, they waste a lot of money, and you have to run a bigger support team, and it all adds up into lifetime value, because the leaner the business and the more margin you're making, then like in the profits and stuff like that, the better you perform, right? And the happier your investors are, and the more money you can have on on growth and experiments and stuff like that. So it all adds up, and when you calculate the impact of this, the less support tickets you produce, the better. And it also adds to like how people feel about the product, right? They can just find things quickly, and they don't have to be angry about contacting support. And just when I was researching this, people were sometimes so angry when they couldn't find information. They wrote shitty reviews, and it impacts your growth, because people are reading into these reviews, and people were creating YouTube videos like explaining how to unsubscribe, and it all adds negativity, and it all adds up really bad taste, right? And it all adds, all these negative reviews, they slash your efforts to grow. And once we have updated this, the snowballing effect was really big. And also, when you see, look at this, all the icons, they were custom. We worked with an artist, and I guess it was she made like an amazing job, and all the details, like a lot of them, is so awesome. And people just not always notice all these tiny details, but this is really good stuff. Anyway, I'm really proud of this. You can find this animation on rockbee.com/Sandbird, and just hover over and see how it works. Anyway, it's cool. I'll talk about other projects later, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and give me feedback if it was too long, if you were interested in some other things related to this project, because if you are, maybe I can improve the video that I'm working at right now.